Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Motorsport Manager Mobile 3 Career Mode. And today we'll be racing in the Milan Grand Prix in the European Racing Series. So if you haven't checked out the previous video about pre-season changes, do go and check it out right now. So based on the previous episode, we have made some changes to our drivers. So we have signed 2 new drivers to our team. So one of them is Yvonne and the other one is Shenqi. And we have also made part developments on suspension, front wing and brakes. So let's continue into the race weekend. So let's get started and choose our sponsor. I think I'll just be going with the Big Doe sponsor because we don't know where we stand right now in the European Racing Series because it's our first race in this series, and previously we have been dominating in the open wheel sprint and seems too easy for us. So once we start racing in the European Racing Series, we'll know where we actually stand. So let's send our drivers out for qualifying. Alright, we'll need to get a new mechanic. Maybe before we move into the APS series, because our mechanic skill level it's like the maximum is only 2. Alright, let's just take the 0 to 15. Sometimes it's worth taking the risk. And then you get a good setup because of the risk that you have taken. But sometimes if you burst the setup during the first run, I think it's still generally okay because you didn't gain any on the setup changes and it's just the first run. And for example, if you burst your setup on the second run, that means there'll be a decrease in your setup level. That means you lose out much more. So for subsequent runs other than the first one, I don't think anyone should take much of a risk. So seems like we're dropping down the field, but Shenqi is 0.7 seconds off Gulox. Is that how I pronounce her name? Alright, let's send her out and try to decrease her time as much as possible so that she gets a good lap. Alright, and can we get negative 0.25 seconds? I think we can. I don't think we can get to 44%. I think let's just go for the risk for 2 to 10. Yep, it's a good risk because right now I think we'll want Shenqi to improve up the order as much as possible, placing her in an advantage position so that during the race she will not lose out during the start as compared to the rest of the drivers on the grid in the field, because we do not know what bonus their cars have, and based on our cars I don't think we can have a better start as compared to the rest, and based on her capabilities I don't think she can do much more as compared to those experienced drivers. So right now we are P8 and P12 on the grid, and it's the same 0.7 seconds separates both of our drivers, and let's send Yvonne out once more to try to improve her car setup. Try to get a better setup bonus for her so that she can perform much better in the race. And as well as for Shenqi. But seems like those cards aren't playing into our hands, so we'll need to upgrade the telemetry department if we haven't do so by the end of this race, because I think it will give us a much like a higher chance of getting new cards, like an additional card as compared to the 2 that we are having. So in the event if both cards are like require high mechanic skill points while the other one requires a low one, we can choose to take the low card instead, and that gives us with more options instead of us running out of options every single time, having to take much more risk. So it's pole position for Al Sadat from Zempeli Racing, And let's head into the race, and it's P8 and 14 for us. Alright, it will be a 2-stop strategy. And oops. And it will be a 2-stop strategy, and alright, let's choose to improve on our relationship with the mechanic. I think for Shenqi we'll change her setup and put her on the hard tires instead, and hard to medium kind of race. And let's see, yep, from Santana onwards, or should I say from P12 onwards, all the other drivers are on hard tires, while only Hawks is on medium tires. And what a great start from Santana up into P5, while Gulox and T is in P12 and 14 respectively, having dropped down the order for Yvonne. Let's just call her Yvonne from now on, it will be much easier that way. And both of them have gained a place, and I think that's a commentator curse because Yvonne has dropped, and alright, Yvonne has gained a place finally, and she has secured P11 and it's P13 for Shenqi. So Outsider still leads the race with Arbola 1 second behind him, and in P3 it's Lieutenant, and P4 is Sabado, P5 is John Studer, P6 is Kotka, and P7 Stanley, P8 Gerard, P9 Santana, and Krupa rounds up the grid, and into the pits goes the leaders, and I think it's time to pit Yvonne right now. We'll put her on the hard tires because that way I think she can go all the way till the end. And for T, I think I'll be pushing her at the end of this lap so that she can go, her tires can last for 2 more laps. I think the tire wear rate is quite high on this track, so Outsider is on the hard tires, so that's the right tire, right compound tires to put it on. With Santana, alright, but all of them are still staying out, so I think we'll be pitting at the end of this lap. Or I think we'll just go to neutral and we'll try to hold it out for 1 more lap. I think the medium tires can't last that long, so I think with 6 laps remaining, we can put Shenqi on the mediums. I think she might struggle a bit, but I think that's a compound to go, so if not, we can just put her on the hards. Should we? I think we put her on the medium compound tires to give her a chance of racing with those drivers out there, with those experienced drivers. And let's set her driving style neutral instead. So with 5 laps remaining, Santana still leads the Milan Grand Prix. So those drivers on surprisingly, those drivers that started on the hard test came in on the soft tire, and can their tires last till the end of the Grand Prix? I think that's a question to find out the answer. Whether can their tires last till the end? Is it a right strategy call to make for them, or is it a wrong strategy call for them? Alright, with 3 laps remaining, right now Yvonne is in P9, Shenqi is in P10. I think let's switch up their engine modes, and I think Yvonne might be struggling on tire wear in the final stages of the Grand Prix, probably with like 1 lap remaining end of next lap. But right now their tire wears are doing fine, and let's turn the car back down, and Yvonne is up into P7 and Shenqi is up into P9. So now Yvonne is on the back of Cropper, with Cropper's tire having 11% remaining, and Yvonne finally overtakes Cropper, and Shenqi overtakes Cropper as well. Seems like the Cropper is having tire wear issues right now, and let me tell you, it is a very good debut race for Time Racing in the European Racing Series. I'm at a loss of words. I don't know what to say at all, but well, I'm surprised by the chain of events that happened that led to us securing P3 in the Team Champions. So CobyHam Racing right now is P3 with our drivers P6 and 9. So probably it's more of the strategy playing out on our hands instead of our rivals' hands. So but we have to wait and see the next few races to know where we stand, how everything pans out, and right now it's the young drivers program. So I think we'll put more focus on Jennifer because her current potential and max potential is much higher than the rest. So maybe we'll just put more focus on her all the way, so if we bring her in, there'll be more improvement points for her. So the suspension has completed building, and we'll be giving the suspension to Yvonne for sure, because Yvonne has a higher star rating as compared to Shenqi. More like Yvonne's much more experienced than Shenqi, so giving Yvonne the part I think justifies yeah, it sort of justifies why we give Yvonne the part as compared to Shenqi. Alright, new brakes. After this, I think it's time for us to build new parts afterwards, because we have to constantly improve to keep up with the competition that is going on. And HQ upgrade complete. So public relations team +1 sponsor. Alright, let's check out. Alright, the telemetry department has one more race remaining to complete the upgrade. So after the next race, we'll be having 3 cards available and an additional slot. Alright, let's see. I think we'll just wait out and see how it goes. Probably we will unlock the outsourced logistics so that we have one more additional node in our supplier network, and it's quite advantageous to us based on the bonuses that our suppliers provide us with. Alright, let's put on focus and let's spend the points of consistency. And yeah, hope you enjoy this episode about the Milan Grand Prix, the European Racing Series, and do stay tuned for the next episode, which is the Tondela Grand Prix. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, do go and hit it right now, and yeah, do comment on how I can improve this series even further, and see you next time. Goodbye and peace out.